Pain, suffering, regret, they're all feelings they go through. Born into a family of 6, there has been one rule. Mommy and Daddy's rule. Never make a mistake. But what if your existence was a mistake? Me and David and Darla and Sam are all stuck in this cycle. Or at least me and Sam are. Out of us 4, you're only accepted if you do something correct. Darla is a super genius. David does everything Father does. Because of this, Darla takes care of the money, counting it when a new deal is made, putting it away safely, and making sure none of the buyers flake out on us. Mother and Father spoil her because this means they'll never have a problem again. At least not a money problem. And David, he's basically a copy of Father. He's always teaching David how to really be a man. How women should always listen to the men in their lives. It's revolting. But we all lie. Justin lies about his sexuality. Darla lies about how much money they have. David lies about wanting to be his father. Sam lies about even wanting to be a girl. Even I lie. Oh, I lie every day to myself. I lie so badly that it hurts. What do I lie about? It's simple. I lie about Abigail being alive. If I had the courage, if I had the dignity, if I had the mindset, I would tell someone something. But I can't. I can't push past my own twin being gone. My family keeps smiling, me crying. Why do they act like nothing happened? Why do they act that way? Why does everyone act that way? Dad continues to sell his nose candy. I just watch and cry from the side. Even with Abby dead, he treats me like I was never meant to exist. My father in drugs, my brother in following, my mother in prostitution. Just shows how dysfunctional my family is. And it's my fault. I was the later twin, so I was the mistake, not Abby. I try so hard to be my sister. However, it will never be enough. My hell started once I was born. My mother and father weren't always the way they were today. Father was once happy and kind to us. He was a good bus driver and loved his job. Mother worked as a waitress, and between the two, they were able to stay alive. They decided to save money and have kids. Mother finally got pregnant at 28. A few months later, my older brother Justin was born. The name given to the firstborn boy is on my mother's side. It shows purity. It's for just in one, as in just in one relationship, one family, one anything. It shows loyalty. He was a good child, always followed the rules, never stole, never lied. They really believed that. They spoiled him because he was the firstborn son. 2 years later, Mother was pregnant again. She was only 30, Justin only 2. First came my older twin, Abigail. The name passed down on my father's side, given to the firstborn girl, the most beautiful. Some define the name as given to a best friend who understands everything about everyone. The most amazing person you'll ever come across. Beautiful, funny, talented, clever. Then I came out. Just 10 minutes after my sister. I don't remember much. Hell, I don't even remember anything of when I was born. But from what I've heard, it wasn't a happy moment. Father was holding Abby, smiling. Justin tried to get a good look at her, excited about his new sister. But then Mother started screaming in pain again. They had never gotten an ultrasound, so I was a surprise. An unwanted one at that. Once I was born, Mother insisted on holding me. That was the first time I was held by my mother. And it would only ever be my mother to hold me. After a few months, the money started catching up. Father said it was because of me. Mother ended up agreeing with him, and that's when I became the problem child. Because I was such a problem, Father became bitter. He was no longer the jolly man I wanted to call Dad. He was fired from his job and, through a friend, found a new job, drug dealing. Because Mother was exposed to all of it, she ended up becoming addicted. She lost her job as a waitress and had to take up other ways of getting money. Years later, my sister Darla. We still don't know if she's my father's daughter. Her dad has brown hair and Mother has blonde. Darla's hair is pitch black, nothing like the others. She's also extremely smart. She was able to do multiplication in first grade. She's a genius. She is praised by her parents just because she can be something. Nearly a year after her came my brother David. I know he's my father's. He's a carbon copy of him and all his fucked up morals. But he wasn't always like that. Once David was born, Father left because of me. It was Abby and I's 4th birthday. Abby was getting a bunch of presents, but I wasn't allowed out of my room. I was tired of never getting attention. All I remember was breaking down my door. Next thing I know, Dad was driving away, bleeding from his head. Mother yelled at me and threw me to the wall. She locked me in my room for a week. I only got food from Abby because she actually cared. About 3 or 4 years later, Father came back. It was the dead of night. Abby and Justin and me, we were all up, unable to sleep. It was late. We heard a scream come from Mom's room. We were terrified to go in. A few minutes later, Father walked out, stumbling with his pants sagging around his waist. Passed out on the couch and fell asleep. The 3 of us shakingly made our way to her mom's room. I can't even begin to describe the mess that was left. He had truly broken our mother. A few months later, Sam was born. He was born a small little girl. From the moment he said his first word, I knew he was never meant to be a girl. By the time he was 7, I started high school. Abby was by my side the whole time, helping me through bullies and schoolwork. That's the year I met Quincy. His sweet charms worked on me for our first 2 years of school. He said he liked my fire when I fought. I had no idea what he was talking about until years later. But he never liked me talking to Abby so much. Said she took me away from him. That was before I caught him with her, thinking she was me. I dumped that bastard on the spot. So he got with my brother instead. Quincy was 2 years older than me anyway. He treats my brother like a prince, though. I never envied Justin. He always shared with me. He was more of a father to me than my real father. Finally, senior year hits. Justin and Quincy graduated the year before and got a house together. Quincy was rich, so they invited me, Abby, Darla, David, and Sam down to live with them. We all accepted, except for David and Sam. I later found out that Sam was forced to stay because he was still young, because David still played with him like a toy. But senior year, that was the year I realized all my problems, the fire Quincy spoke of. Quincy was never over me, always giving me looks, scanning me up and down. But it was better than being at home beaten every day for being a mistake. Mother died after Sam was born, so I was left in the hands of my father for years. But I always had Abby. Abby was by my side every day since birth. She helped me set up my first date with a boy she told me about. Ginger with freckles. Sounded cute. But I never went on the date. Abby was walking me to the cafe and she decided to take a shortcut. We got cornered by a robber who asked us for our money. Abby protected me like always. She shielded me from harm. I told her to give up the money, but she refused, and she was shot without hesitation. I fell to my knees, crying as I cradled her in my arms. I told her everything was going to be alright, but she was already dead. From the corner of my eye, I saw the man try to slip away. I chased him faster than I had ever before and knocked him to the ground. I stabbed his shoulder with the heel of my stiletto and pushed straight through. I felt myself start to black out, but I refused to miss this moment. This was what Quincy meant by my fire. I never saw myself fight because I would always black out, and this feeling was like I had no care in the world. I smiled and pulled back the heel and drove it right back in. He screamed in pain, and I enjoyed it. I bent down and grabbed his wrist, soon driving my foot into his elbow, snapping his arm back, breaking it. I did the same with one of his legs and bent down ready to stab his neck, but stopped. In that moment, I swear I heard Abby calling to me to stop, not to continue this man's pain. I looked back, and the man was trying to run as best he could away from me. I decided not to chase him. I picked up Abby, whispering I'm sorry to her as I carried her home. Once Justin saw her, he broke down crying. Darla cleaned her up and scheduled a funeral. Even though she wasn't crying, her voice shook anytime she spoke. I, on the other hand, just locked myself in my room, feeling numb from everything that happened. That's when Quincy walked into my room, having picked the lock. He laid next to me, saying he knew how to cheer me up. I never knew I'd face the same fate as my mother. I was just so vulnerable, and he took advantage of me. And I no longer had the help of my twin to get through this. By now, I was 18 and broken inside. Made my way down the streets of London and went into a bar. I don't know how long I was there for or how much I drank, but I knew it wouldn't be the last time. It was all I had to help me fix my pain. But that was only the worst part. After spending years in the same bar, I became close with the bartender, Amy. She became one of my closest friends and even something more. She introduced me to our friend Mark, and me and Mark, became roommates in a small house. We ran into this man on the street who calls himself the Great Brandini, but we just call him GB. I was surrounded once again by people who love me. My life will never be perfect. I still have problems with blacking out whenever I go into my psycho mode, and I still struggle with alcohol, but I have support now. After separating myself from something toxic, I was free, and now I know more about myself than I ever will. My story isn't over. This is just the beginning. With my new friends, I know everything will be fine, because we're all outcasts in our own way.